So could you please introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm Priya Patil. I graduated in the year 2002 with BE ENC specialization, and I have an experience of 3 years. I worked with L&T Infotech from 2003 till 2007, and then after that I took a break. So this is it till so far.
Okay, good. Now let's start with manual testing now, whatever you have learned. Can you please explain what is Agile methodology and all the meetings which are involved? So talk about Agile methodology for at least 10 to 15 minutes. Whatever you know in that Agile methodology.
So Agile is a iterative and incremental type of software development methodology. It provides the principles, and here we, as a company, we should be flexible enough to take the changes in the requirements, whatever the customer requests, and we have to develop, test, and deliver the good quality of a software within quickly as much as possible. So that in Agile methodology, the main objective is the customer satisfaction. And here the release cycle will be very short, since we are focusing on the quality of the product more than the documentations. So, and in the we use the Scrum as the framework to develop the software using the Agile principles. So here the different team under the Scrum are product owner, Scrum Master, developers, and the test engineers. So product and different terminologies which comes under the Agile are the product backlog, which contains the list of user stories, which has to be, it will be defined by the product owner. And product owner has that capacity to prioritize the user features, whatever required for as per the market need, and he will iterate in every cycle as per the live environment requirement. So he is the one who prepares he defines the features of the product. And then coming to the Scrum is the person who will drive the Agile process, and he is the one who conducts everyday meeting, and he assigns the task and make sure that he's responsible for the Scrum Master. Scrum Master.
Yes, Scrum Master.
Master, yeah. So Scrum is the framework which we use for using the Agile principles. So Scrum Master is the one who drives the Agile process, and he conducts everyday meeting, and he's the one who is responsible for delivering the working quality or working piece of a software, and he assigns tasks to the developers, test engineers. And in everyday call, he will discuss what are the things. Every day, everyone has to share what are the tasks they have done on the previous day and what they are going to do today. And if they are facing any issues, Scrum Master is the one who helps them to resolve these issues. And then user stories are the list of features which are saved in the product backlog. So product backlog contains a list of user stories. User story is a feature or a module or a functionalities. And then coming to the next process, apart from I'll talk about the different terminologies. So when it comes to when we start working on any project, first we'll divide that entire project in sprints. So sprint is the time taken to complete whatever the user stories is assigned. So in sprint, the sprint meeting will be conducted by the Scrum Master. Here they will discuss how many user stories are there in the product backlog, and how many user stories they can take up in the particular sprint, so that they can develop, test, and deliver in this particular sprint. And next, unable to remember the terminology. So
sprint planning meeting, daily stand-up meeting.
Yeah, different ceremonies. Yeah, in Agile methodology, different Agile ceremonies will be conducted. One is the everyday stand-up meeting, which I already spoken about. And then sprint planning meeting, it will be conducted on the first day of every sprint. here they will discuss and decide how many user stories they are going to take up, develop, test, and deliver. And at the end of the sprint, they will conduct the sprint um, retrospect meeting, where they will discuss what are the things they have went well and what didn't go well, and what are the action plans. And then release retrospect meeting will be conducted on the last day of the release, where they discuss again same thing, what are the things went well throughout the projects, and what are the mistakes we have done, and what are the action plans which will be captured and used for the further process. And sprint velocity is used to uh, measure the quantity of work uh, developed and delivered by to the customer. So it actually represents the efficiency of the team. And story points. So whenever we get the requirements, even developers and test engineers, they give their rough estimation how much time they need to complete the assigned for every single assigned user story. So as a test engineer, we give the rough estimation based on the time required to understand the requirements and list all the test scenarios and write the test cases, and then reviewing of the test cases, executing test cases, and testing the application and reporting the bugs.
So we have Sushma here. Sushma, can you please turn on your camera? Yes, ma'am. Can you please introduce yourself? You're on mute.
Yes, sir. My name is Shushma from Sindhanur. I completed in BCom and 2014 Gangavati GHN College, and then VSK University Ballari, Master Degree MFM, passed out in 2016.
Can you please explain what is software development life cycle? In that, explain waterfall model.
Sir, really, I told you, sir, I am not perfect. I am not.
See, I'm not asking you whether you're perfect or not. I'm asking you whether you're prepared or not.
Not prepared, sir.
Not prepared. Then why are you attending daily class if you're not preparing? What is the use? You want to get a job or no?
Yes, sir, get sir, but still in before 15 to 20 days, I am not attending the improper way of the classes.
Please
I am
plan. I understand. So you have paid the fees. If you want to get a job, you have to prepare. I can give you hundreds of requirements, but if you are not able to crack interview, it's not in my hand. I can help you to give the requirement. You are the one who's going to crack interview. Okay, then please prepare. Fine.
Okay.
You can exit. I'll continue interview with Priya.
Okay, sir. I want to some time, sir. Please give me.
Sure, you take time, prepare, and come back.
Okay, sir.
Yes, Priya. We'll kickstart with all the types of testing, whatever you know. Can you please explain all the types of testing? You're on mute.
So in software testing, we have mainly 3 different types of testing: white box testing, black box testing, and gray box testing. So white box testing will be done by the developers, where developers will go through each and every line of the code and they will do the testing. Black box testing will be done by the test engineers, where we check the functionality of the application as per the requirements. So here the code will not be visible to the test engineers. And in gray box testing is a combination of white box testing and black box testing. So when it comes to black box testing, there are different types like functional, non-functional. So under functional testing, we have component testing, or also called as function testing, where we check each and every component of the application and see whether it's according to the requirement specification or not. And then next one is the integration testing. So in integration testing, we check for the data flow between 2 different features. Under incremental testing, we have two approaches, incremental and non-incremental. In incremental, we first take two features and check the data flow between two modules of features, and then we keep on adding the other modules, so incrementally. So in under increment also, we have two types, like as I said, top down and bottom up. In top down, whatever feature we are adding, it should be a child of the previous feature. So in bottom up, whatever the new feature we are adding, it should be a parent of the previous feature. So, and under integration testing, there is another one called non-incremental, where we take up all the features at one shot and try to test the data flow between all the features. So this is little when the application is very complex, that time we go for non-incremental integration testing. And then coming to next is system testing, where we do the end-to-end testing here. We check the business flow of the entire application and see how it works without any issues. So here we don't do any function testing or data flow testing when we are doing the system testing. So after system testing, we have other types under functional testing is smoke testing. This is the testing which we will do where we will check only the basic and critical features just to make sure that the application is eligible for further testing. So this is very shallow and we just see that it's working or not. So, and then the performance testing. Under performance testing, we check the performance of the application under the different user loads or workload.
Okay.
Here we mainly test.
What is What is exploratory testing?
Exploratory testing is a type of software testing where we explore the application and try to understand each and every feature and see how these features are connected. And then we simultaneously start testing the application and also write the test cases. So we don't follow there won't be any requirement document to do the exploratory testing. It's kind of an ad hoc testing.
Okay. What is the difference between priority and severity?
Yeah, priority is the parameter which represents on the order in which defects should be resolved. Severity will tell us like how the effect of the defect on the business or the application, customer's business or the application. It is the impact which shows on the application.
Can you give me some example of defect with high priority, high severity, high priority with low severity, different examples which you come across in your project?
So, yeah, for high severity and high priority, examples would be when URL itself is not loading, when login functionality is not working. And high severity and low priority example will be when there is bug in the major feature, but it is rarely used by the customers. So the fixing of that bug can wait for some time. And low priority, low severity will be where there is a bug or in some of the links, like in the footer section or help section, where which does not affect the functionality or the business of the customer, and that fixing of such defects can wait, or even we can just leave it like that. And low severity and high priority. Here, whenever there is a defect on the main page or in the name of the logo or whichever is, giving bad impression to the branding. So that comes under high priority, though it is not affecting the customer business. We have to fix it on the immediate basis.
Okay. Now, can you please explain a defect life cycle in detail?
Okay, defect life cycle is where defect is given different states. Starting from it is logged into the defect tracking tool, it undergoes different states. The first one is the open. Whenever test engineer finds the defects and logs it into the defect tracking tool, he'll assign the status to the defect as open. And then once this defect is assigned to the particular developer or respective developer, that status will be changed to assigned, and then developer will start working on that defect. Whenever that defect will be fixed by the development team, they will change the status as fixed. Now test engineer again, he tests the same the fixed defect and see if it is working or not. If it's working and it's really fixed, then he will change the status as closed, or else if there are still any issues, he'll keep it as open. So apart from this, there are some other states also, like just reject. So whenever defect is logged, sometimes developers will reject some kinds of the defects, because they think like it's not a bug. Maybe test engineer would have understood the requirement wrongly and he found the bug, or sometimes he has taken the old build and tested, that's why he has come up with the bug. And sometimes developers would have implemented some extra features which is not there in the requirement document. That time test engineer will log this as a bug, but developers will say they will just reject it and talk to the customer and get it added to the requirements. Then postponed is one more state where if any of the bugs are not critical, some minor or major bugs, development team will give the status as postponed. And even the test engineers, if they find the bug at the end of the release cycle, there is no time to fix the bug that time also. If it is not a critical bug, again they will postpone it to be fixed in the next release. And then cannot be fixed. There are some of the big bugs which cannot be fixed because technology does not support the does not have the capacity to fix the bug. And if there are very minor bugs, so even those such kinds of bugs can be given status as cannot be fixed. And request for enhancement is another status where developer knows it's a bug, but they will change the status to request for enhancements because that feature is not user friendly. It needs some enhancements, so they will give it as a request for enhancement. I think I have covered all. Yeah.
Fine. Okay, I'll come back to mobile application. How do you get the builds for testing on Android and as well as for iOS? In which format we get it?
For Android, we get it in .apk files. For iOS, we get it in .ipa files.
What is the full form of .apk and .ipa?
.apk is Android package kit. .ipa is iOS. I'm unable to recall. iOS package, I don't know. I've read it, it's not coming to my mind.
iOS app package, application package.
iOS?
IPA stands for iOS application package.
Application package. Okay.
Okay, fine. So which distribution channel your company was using when they were sending a build for testing?
We were mainly using the Google Drive. They used to upload it in the Google Drive, and we used to take it from there and install it in the environment and start testing.
Google Drive, huh?
Yeah.
Which one? Okay. For iOS also you were using Google Drive?
For iOS, we were using Firebase. I have not read that, but I'm not sure. Yeah. Some of the practical things I'm little.
You are in the beginning stage. You should not say that. Okay, so for iOS, we have a different app which I covered in the notes. Go back and check.
Firebase, is it? No.
Okay, go back and check. Test flight.
Test flight.
So API testing prepared, basic.
Yeah. 70 to 80%, not the previous two classes.
First question, what is the difference between, okay, first we'll understand what is API testing.
API testing, here we directly test it's a type of software testing again. Here we directly test the APIs from the functionality point of view, security and the reliability point of view. Here we test the business logic, and it's kind of integration testing.
Kind of integration testing.
Yes.
Okay. What is the difference between API and web services?
API is application protocol interface. It's the intermediate between two
Programming interface. Programming.
Sorry?
Application programming interface.
Sorry, yeah. Application programming interface. It's an interface between two applications, which enables the communication between two different applications and help us to exchange the data between two systems. And web services are the services which is available on the webs. Here, even with this web services, we can exchange the data over the web with the help of the internet.
What is the difference between verification and validation?
In verification, we validate the requirement specification document, software requirement specification documents, design documents, and check whether all it's as per the customer requirements. In validation, we execute the test cases and validate the functionality of the application. And in verification, we test whether are we building the product right. In validation, we are checking whether the right product is getting built.
Last question. What is smoke testing? Why we do smoke testing? When we do smoke testing?
Smoke testing is, in smoke testing, we test for the basic and critical features of an application just to make sure that the application is eligible for further testing. And we do smoke testing also when we install the build in the production environment to make sure that it is installed properly. We do one round of smoke testing, and also when we release it to the production to the user to the customer, they will also do one round of smoke testing just to make sure that it is proper. And yeah. And what was the other question?
When we do, why we do. Given three points.
Why we do is just to make sure that the application is eligible for further testing, and also all the just to make sure that why we do is also to make sure that it is installed properly.
Okay, so prepared off in between, skipping some of the important points. So since it's a first mock, I hope you got an idea. Prepare properly. So like next week again, you'll be having a project transition class. Then after that, you'll be having a final mock interviews. Okay, I'll find that. I'll just stop the recording.
Sure. Thank